Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we are predominantly working our core strength, our control, and our balance. We're going to be using as a prop the football, as you can see, and the only additional thing that you need is either a wall or a couch where you can kind of hook your feet underneath the base of the couch. We're gonna go ahead and start, and we're gonna sit on the ball. So just sit on the top of the ball. Believe it or not, that alone, like if you're accustomed to this is easy peasy, but if you're not already, this can create a lot of sort of fear and insecurity for some people. So we're gonna stay up here, we're gonna start nice and easy, and we're gonna do pelvic tilts. So you're just gonna tuck your tail like a puppy. Now, when you're doing that on the ball, you can keep your hands on hips, you can bring your hands to prayer. It's like you're pushing the ball forward and you're kind of rolling back, and then you're going to do the opposite. You're gonna send your tail back, come into an extension of the lower back, push the ball back, okay, and you kind of move forward, and that's all we're doing. We're gonna tuck, and then we're gonna send the tail back. I can't think. We're gonna flex and extend. I can't think of the opposite word. Flex and extend, okay? Hands on hips is nice to get the feedback of what's happening in your pelvis. And the one thing as we're doing this is just a warm-up exercise, but you wanna make sure that as you tuck, you don't feel your torso above kind of clunk down. Okay, so the elevator's not all falling to the bottom floor at once. You can maintain a lift in the spine. Just think of creating space for your vertebra and your discs in between. Now we're gonna graduate that. Start to tuck our tail, and we're gonna start to roll back. Keep your feet still. Keep your knees still, and then you're gonna lift the spine all the way back up, bone by bone. So we're gonna tuck the tail, round the spine, roll back as though there was a mat on the floor behind you, as though you were sitting on the floor, and then we roll back forward, and we lift from bottom all the way to top. So tail unravels all the way back up to the top. And you can reach your hands forward. This is gonna be an quote-unquote easier position because your lever is in front of you as opposed to behind, so it's less heavy. Or you can bring your hands behind your head, and that's gonna be your most advanced version. You can go in between, would be like genie arms, or you can hold on to the hips, okay? So we're gonna tuck and roll back, kind of where you feel like that tipping point, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's nothing behind me. I'm trying to roll off a cliff. Go back and lift up. Now we're gonna add walking the feet forward. So we're gonna tuck and roll right here where we can't go any farther because the ball's not there. We're gonna walk our feet 1, 2, 3 times forward, line the toes up, line the knees up. Now your low back is supported by the ball, and then we're going to bring hands behind the head to support it and unravel the spine all the way back out over the ball. Take an inhale here. Exhale, fold forward, pressing the low ribs into the ball as you come all the way, shoulders over hips. Now walk the feet back, 1, 2, and 3, and you're all the way seated tall. Here we go. We round back first, tucking the tail. We can't go any farther. We walk 1, 2, 3, holding still with the feet and the legs as we roll the spine all the way back into an extension. Exhale, fold forward. Come as far forward as you can. Now you have to walk the feet towards the ball, 1, 2, 3, and lift up tall. So this is working, oops, don't walk first, roll first and then walk. This is working that control, right? So we're on something that's very movable, and it's not just moving forward and back. It can move side to side any which way as it pleases. And as we try and carry our body weight right over the center, we stay centered over our spine, then we're in control of that variable environment. And roll back and forward. Shoulders over hips, then walk the feet. 1, 2, 3, lift the spine tall. See if you can do it with your hands behind your head, if you like, the whole time. Roll back, walk forward, hold still, and continue that. Roll all the way to extension, fold it forward. We can take it a little quicker. We'll go 2 more. Tuck, roll back, walk forward, and extend. And fold. Don't miss any part of the spine here as you lift all the way up and tuck, roll back, walk and roll, extend, Exhale, roll all the way forward to shoulders over hips. You're gonna keep your legs where they are, and now we're just gonna work within this range. We'll go all the way back into an extension. So now we're really working that full range of the spine in both directions, from flexion through to extension, and we're gonna go 4 more. Again, this is where you really use that ball to your advantage. Because it's squishy underneath you, you can feel whether you're able to lift one bone off at a time, or whether you're lifting like a whole segment of the spine off as you roll up, as well as when you roll back. And I think we have 2 more. Hopefully I'm not cheating us. Roll forward. Really scoop the belly backwards. You can kind of think of like pulling your belly button underneath, sliding underneath your ribs as you fold forward. You're gonna roll back, but only halfway. So you feel the bottom tips of your shoulder blades down, but you don't go into your extension, and you're almost even shoulders, ribs, and hips. We're lifting the sternum straight up and down. If you wanna move your hands in such a way as it helps you with that trajectory, you can do that. We're gonna go 5, 4, the feet are firm in the ground. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and lift all the way up. Walk your feet back, come up to seated, and we're gonna bounce. So you're just gently bouncing. You're not bouncing so that your butt's coming off the ball, but we're bouncing. This is really restorative. I always say restorative, which is not a word, restorative, to do in the spine. If you use a fit ball, you sit at a desk for work, best to sit on this. It decompresses the spine. It's much nicer to your hips and your joints, and then you can always do this, and it's quite energizing. It actually kind of puffs everything up, all the discs between your vertebrae. As we do this, we're gonna add that balance. So let's go ahead and twist to the right, open your arms up to a T, and then bring them overhead as you come center. Keep bouncing as you twist to the left, open the arms to a T, and then lift up center and twist to the right. Now, as you're twisting, what we want to make sure of is that you're not leaning to the right in order to twist left, right? I just exaggerated that, but just so that you could see, okay? You're lifting constantly up right over the top of yourself, right over the middle, I should say, reaching through the crown of your head as you twist from side to side. So twisting can be a little compressive. This helps just decompress everything. Nothing gets jammed, is what I should say, which is the last thing that we want, right? All right, we're gonna come all the way back center. We're gonna stop that bounce, and we are going to roll back, walk the feet forward. 1, 2, 3. Low back remains supported. Line your toes up, hands behind the head. That's optional. You can keep your hands here if the lever is too heavy. We're gonna take it into a fold forward and a twist to the right, and then back down just to bottom tips of shoulder blades, fold forward, twist to the left. So this is our crisscross, and here's what we're looking for when we're doing it on the ball. We're looking for control. The hips should not be twisting with us, and you will know that they are if your knees are shifting forward and back. So it's like one leg gets shorter, and that means that hip is pulling back, okay? The other thing is you're constantly scooping the abs back behind you, and you can feel that by the low back pressing into the ball. And of course I didn't count, so let's go 2 more to each side. That's it. 1 more. And now you can roll it all the way up. So the nice thing about doing abs on the ball is that we aren't all the way on the floor, and we are already a little bit lifted in space. It's the closest thing that we can get to the short box series on the reformer. But again, this is great because we are using this unstable surface. All right, we are going to take it to a stretch. So I'm laughing because I was going to go elsewhere, but let's do this first. Make sure you're sitting on top of the ball. Stretch your legs straight out. You can go a little wider than your hips. Heels are planted into the floor. This is like our seated saw on the mat. Open your arms either wide to a T or just over the quads. Twist to the left. Reach your right arm to the outside of the left ankle and lean over yourself. Now with this lean, pull your belly backwards. It's not dumping forwards and line on your thighs. Then twist to the right and lean over. Same thing here as with the crisscross. You're looking that the legs stay the same length. So that twist is happening from waistband up. If you're ever noticing that the ball is in your way, you might be seated too far back, so you can sit a little bit more forward. I have it pretty far. I'm pretty far back because I had a lot underneath my thighs. So you might feel that that gives you better movement. Really focus on scooping through the belly as you do this. So this is going to really help with that flexibility, lengthens back of hamstrings, but also encourages full mobility throughout the spine. All right, lift all the way back up. Now we're going to where I want it to go. This is where you want to use your wall or your feet hooked like underneath a couch because it helps to have kind of an anchor point. Position yourself between wall or couch and ball. Bring the right hip to the side of the top. Does that make sense? The side facing you. So it's like your side sitting on it like so. Your top foot being the left comes forward, right between like baseboard and floor, and your bottom foot comes behind. Trying to kind of lean back so you can see that. Legs can be straight or they can be bent. That's not of much consequence. It's more how you feel secure on the ball. Lie over the ball and careful. I see a lot of people position themselves so that their ribs are down on the top of the ball. You're gonna have a lot less side lift. So you do really wanna be able to have your hips supported, but above waistband, you have movement. You have a full lift and you can fully lower down. So hands can go behind the head. That would be the hardest. Otherwise, top hand goes onto the top of the ball and the bottom hand stays behind the head. We're gonna lift up and lower down. So it's a lateral lift, a little side bend here. The legs stay still because they're your anchor against wall or hooked underneath the couch, and you go down and up. And this is pretty basic, but really challenging. We're gonna go for 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. All right, we're going to add another version to this. Keep that side lean. If you have a mirror that you can look in, that'll really help. You'll know that your shoulders and hips are aligned in such a way as opposed to the shoulders being lower in space than the hips or higher. From this position, you can always have the bottom hand down. We're gonna twist to the right, twist to the left. Keep your right hip anchored, so it is not twisting and moving with you. Again, this is waistband up. All right, so I'm actually keeping my bottom hand on the ball for support. It's pretty challenging to do it with this hand behind, but if you can, do it. That is your goal. All right, 3 and 2 and 1. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to stand it up and go right around and do the other side onto the left hip. Usually the second side is easier than the first, right? Because it's not your first time doing it. Okay, and here we go. I want you to really melt all the way over the ball sideways and then lift and down and over and lift. Here's where you'll find if the ball is moving on you, which it is for me, you might have to adjust your position. So again, you're in control of the ball as opposed to the ball being bossing you around and rolling you all over the place. Up and up. We'll go 4 more. Lift and lower. Up and down. 2 and 1. All right, let's go right into those twists. We twist down and up. Think of this, your sternum kind of being like a flashlight, and you're panning it, right? You're panning it down towards the floor, up towards the ceiling, keeping that top hip still. Remember, your bottom hand can help support you here. As you turn down, I want you to scoop the belly, okay? For whatever reason, in sideline positions, the abdominal wall likes to go like, hey, I don't need to work. I'm just gonna hang out. Boop, and then it goes out. So pull in. And go 2 more. And 1 more. Awesome. All right, you guys, you can, come to standing. We are going to do 2 posterior chain exercises on the ball. We will come back to the wall for at least 1 more exercise. However, for the next, you're gonna face your ball like so. Come away from the wall and bring your hands onto the floor. You'll lie your belly onto the top of the ball. Position your feet on the floor, hands on the floor, legs at least hip width apart, and make sure your hands are a little wider than your shoulders so that your shoulders have space. Reach your left arm straight forward and up towards your ear. Hold it here and soften that shoulder. Now point your right toe and lift the legs straight up and pull it back behind you. So we're working that diagonal in the back, and then we're going to set that hand and foot down. We're going to reach the right arm long first, then point the left toes, and then lift the left leg up and pull back. So it's not just a lift up, you're really trying to lengthen the leg behind you, and those go down. We'll add a little bit of pace to it, all the while staying nice and controlled over that ball. So every time you switch sides, you want to make sure you're stable first. And part of that stability comes from scooping your belly up underneath you. And it's almost like you're holding onto the ball that way underneath you, if you can feel that and think of it like that. Okay, and that helps everything stay nice and still. All right. We'll go 2 more, 1 each side, and last one. Okay, now what we're going to do is a little bit more of upper body strength. You can move the ball more underneath the legs and then walk your hands forward just enough so that your feet come off of the floor. And now we're going to focus on the legs. Lift the legs up and down. Now the down, think of piking the hips up. So you're scooping the belly, tucking your tail, and almost pulling the ball an inch underneath you. And then you're lengthening through the spine, reaching back through the toes, and coming into a little extension of the lower back. Then you tuck and round, and then lift up. Tuck round, and lift up. We're gonna take it for 6, 5, squeeze the glutes as the legs lift up. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. All right, walk yourself back with your hands and then bring yourself up to standing, and we're coming back to the wall or the couch. We're gonna do a little upper back extension, and we want the front of the hips to be on this side of the ball. Your feet are going to be like so against the wall or against your couch, something that's not gonna move. You don't want the couch to be able to push it away either if it's a light, small couch, okay? So once you're in this position here, you're going to round your spine down. Head goes down towards the floor, hands behind the head. Inhale, roll your nose forward, reach the crown of your head forward, and lift the whole torso up, and the heart shines forward, okay? And then exhale. As you exhale, I want you to think of reaching long out and over the ball, diving over, scooping under, and then coming down. And then reach long through the spine as you lift up. Smile with your collarbones, squeeze the backs of your glutes, and then lower all the way down. And you may have done these before, so these might be easy and you're familiar with them. A little bit challenging to get into the position, but really great exercise to do on a regular basis, okay? It's also nice because you can work the glutes, not just the upper back. So we're working the whole posterior chain, and let's go 3 more times. Again, we're moving the spine from flexion to extension. So working the range of motion in the spine and combating that kind of forward posture that likes to set in. And lift, hands come onto the ball, walk your feet in and come up to standing.
Thanks for moving with me, you guys. If you liked this workout, give it a thumbs up as that helps out the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you get a notification each time I upload a new video. If you're interested in more full-length workouts or live classes each week, come over to my website at goneadventuring.com. Join us. Let's do this together from home at any time, from anywhere. I'll see you soon. Bye.